Hi, Spirit 1053 family. Erica here with you for Wednesday's verse video. It's Miracles Week here on Spirit 1053. And so we are sharing miracles from the Bible. This isn't one of the more well-known ones. So I hope you'll join me today, kind of near the beginning of your Bible in the book of 2 Kings. We're going to be in chapter 4, and we're going to meet Elisha. I love this story so much. One day, Elisha passed through Shunem. A leading lady of the town talked him into stopping for a meal. And then it became his custom. Whenever he passed through, he stopped for a meal. I'm certain, said the woman to her husband, that this man who stops by with us all the time is a holy man of God. Why don't we add on a small room upstairs and furnish it with a bed and desk, chair and lamp so that when he comes by, he can stay with us? How generous is that? And so it happened that the next time Elisha came by, he went to the room and lay down for a nap. I just want to pause there for 1 second and say, if you're in ministry, whatever you're doing today, whatever you're doing for the Lord, you deserve a nap. You deserve rest. Elisha was one of the most difference-making people in the Bible. Do you see that here? Someone provided a place so he could take a nap. Get your rest. I just want to encourage you with that today. What's up, Jennifer, Gerald, and Charles? I'm so glad to see you all today. All right, so take a nap. That's the first takeaway here. All right. Then he said to his servant Gehazi, tell the Shunammite woman I want to see her. He called her and she came to him. Through Gehazi, Elisha said, you've gone far beyond the call of duty in taking care of us. What can we do for you? Do you have a request we can bring to the king or to the commander of the army? Oh, that's pretty amazing. She replied, nothing. I'm secure and satisfied in my family. Elisha conferred with Gehazi. There's got to be something we can do for her. But what? Gehazi said, well, she has no son, and her husband is an old man. Call her in, Elisha said. He called her and she stood at the open door. Elisha said to her, this time next year, you're going to be nursing an infant son. Wow. Oh, my master, oh, holy man, she said, don't play games with me, teasing me with such fantasies. Can you tell right there that this had been a dear request of her heart? Can you tell how Elisha kept pressing? I believe it was the God of the universe pressing Samuel. I need a nap too. On Elisha's heart to ask again. Because, Brian, Benedicte, God knows the desires of your heart, and they are important to him too. They are precious to him. You know why? Because you are precious to him. So the woman conceived a year later, just as Elisha had said. She had a son. The child grew up. And, by the way, we could stop there, and that could be our miracle. But there's more. One day, he went to his father who was working with the harvest hands, complaining, my head, my head. His father ordered a servant, carry him to his mother. The servant took him in his arms and carried him to his mother. He lay on her lap until noon and died. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. She took him up and laid him on the bed of the man of God. Remember the room that she had prepared for Elisha? Shut him in alone and left. She immediately took action. She believed. She had faith. She called her husband, get me a servant and a donkey so I can go to the holy man. I'll be back as soon as I can. But why today? This isn't a holy day. It's neither new moon nor Sabbath. She said, don't ask questions. I need to go right now. Trust me. The faith of this woman, the Shunammite woman, just blows my mind. She went ahead and saddled the donkey, ordering her servant, take the lead and go as fast as you can. I'll tell you if you're going too fast. And so off she went. She came to the holy man at Mount Carmel. The holy man, spotting her while she was still a long way off, said to his servant Gehazi, look out there. Why, it's the Shunammite woman. Quickly, ask her, is something wrong? Are you all right? Your husband, your child? She said, okay, watch this. Everything's fine. I just got chills. Her son just died. This woman is trusting God so much that she says to Elisha, the holy man, everything's fine. Wow. This is such a story of faith. But when she reached the holy man at the mountain, she threw herself at his feet and held tightly to him. Gehazi came up to pull her away, but the holy man said, "Leave her alone. Can't you see that she's in distress? But God hasn't let me in on why. I'm completely in the dark." Then she spoke up, "Did I ask for a son, master? Didn't I tell you don't tease me with false hopes?" He ordered Gehazi, "Don't lose a minute. Grab my staff and run as fast as you can. If you meet anyone, don't even take time to greet him. And if anyone greets you, don't even answer. Lay my staff across the boy's face." The boy's mother said, "As sure as God lives and you live, you're not leaving me behind." And so Gehazi let her take the lead and follow behind, just like a mother, right? But Gehazi arrived first and laid the staff across the boy's face, but there was no sound, no sign of life. Gehazi went back to meet Elijah and said, "The boy has not stirred." Elisha entered the house and found the boy stretched out on the bed, dead. He went into the room and locked the door, just the two of them in the room, and prayed to God. He then got into bed with the boy and covered him with his body, mouth on mouth, eyes on eyes, hands on hands. And as he was stretched out over him like that, the boy's body became warm. Elisha got up and paced back and forth in the room. Then he went back and stretched himself upon the boy again. The boy started sneezing. 7 times he sneezed and opened his eyes. He called Gehazi and said, "Get the Shunammite woman in here." He called her and she came in. Elisha said, "Embrace your son." She fell at Elisha's feet, face to the ground in reverent awe. Then she embraced her son and went out with him. What an incredible story. We have been in 2 Kings chapter 4. I want to talk to you today if you are the Shunammite woman who had a desire in her heart and you haven't spoken it out loud to anyone. May I encourage you today to speak out that desire of your heart. You can share it in the comments. You can call your best friend. You can text somebody, let them know, but speak it out loud. Tell God, say, "God, this is the desire of my heart." The Shunammite woman had never spoken it out loud, but Elisha knew because God knew how very much she wanted to be a mother. So that's the first thing. Tell God, tell somebody you love what is percolating in here. My Aunt Betty used to have one of those old-fashioned coffee percolators, the silver pots that she would put on the stove when we would come over for coffee. And there was nothing like that coffee. It was so rich and delicious. And I used to love sitting in her sunroom as the coffee percolated on the stove. When you share the desire of your heart and tell God in faith, "God, this is the desire of my heart," He hears you because you're His child. He cares about you. Pray and say the prayer that never fails, "Thy will be done over this delight in my heart, Lord," because He knows what is absolutely best for you. And in His perfect timing, He is going to answer your prayer. Prayer works miracles. But the miracle starts with a God who simply loves you and cares about you. The second thing is when you have a moment where you feel like all hope is gone, it's not. I love the reaction of the Shunammite woman and how when her son died in her arms, she's holding him. What must that have been like? And yet her first reaction was to run for help. And so when something happens, when the bottom drops out, because it's gonna, I have sat in a hospital room in Greenville, South Carolina with my son who was very ill. And I remember Dr. Green looking at me and saying, "I don't know if he's going to make it." 17 years old he was. When the bottom drops out, you run to God. Just like the Shunammite woman ran to Elisha, the holy man. She knew that Elisha was going to talk to God on her behalf. She knew it wasn't Elisha who gave her a son. She knew it was God. But, sometimes we need Jesus in a skin, don't we? My friend Ina taught me that phrase years ago. Sometimes we need Jesus in a skin. So how can I be Jesus in a skin to you today? How can I pray for you? How can we here at Spirit 105.3 pray for you? We actually have a prayer thread going on a post on the Spirit 1053 Facebook page. It was posted earlier today. You can post your prayer requests there. You can post your prayer requests in the comment. But I encourage you to examine your heart today for what that desire is. Speak it out loud to somebody. I encourage you, if there is something pressing on your heart and you need prayer, if the bottom has dropped out of your life and you need prayer, let us know in the comments. Let us be your Jesus in his skin. Let us remind you that God is close, that God is able, that God does miracles. It's our miracle story today. I just want you to know that he is there. He answers those desires in your hearts. He is there when the bottom drops out and you can run to him. And napping is a good thing. I mean, we see it right there. This woman built a room so Elisha could rest. So sometimes going to sleep for a little bit, 20 minutes, that can be a holy thing. Because sometimes, in my experience, I have awakened a nicer person. Hi, Valerie. You're a blessing to me as well. Thank you so much for being here. It's just a huge blessing to take these few minutes with you every single day. I feel like God meets us. Anytime you open up his word, he's going to be right there in the middle of us. I mean, it changes the atmosphere, doesn't it? I encourage you to read his word out loud with your family. Read about this miracle today. You know, tell your kids that there was a boy who is dead but is alive again, because there is a real God who does real miracles, and not just in the Bible, but in 2020. If you are living in the Pacific Northwest like I am, you're looking out your window and everything is under a blanket of smoke. It's terrible. We literally hold our breath from the time we walk from our home to our car and back. The air is unhealthy to breathe, but God is still in control. If it's you, if you're under this blanket of smoke in Oregon, Washington, California, Colorado, you open his word today and change the atmosphere in your home. You have no control over the smoke outside your window, but inside your home, you can change the atmosphere in 2 seconds. Open up his word. He promises us, Carmen, that his word does not return void. Pray for my husband dealing with shingles. Absolutely. Carmen, let us know what your husband's name is. Hey, remember today, I will be praying for you. God hears you. Tell somebody about the dream in your heart. Take a nap, okay? You are loved. Oh, remember, it's not a touch screen. See, I need a nap.